So you've hired your first staff accountant in the Philippines. Congrats! Now you might be thinking, okay, now what? How do I set my Filipino accounting staff up for success? How do I make sure we can work together productively and happily? In this video, I'll share how you can do that. My name is Isaac Smith. I'm the founder of Team Up, where we help accountants hire top-tier Filipino accounting staff without any ongoing BPO fees. All right, building an effective team comes in 3 parts. First is, of course, finding the right person for the job, and we talk about that a lot on this channel. The second is setting them up for success. And the third is continual leadership and management. Today, we're talking about number 2, setting them up for success. And maybe this is not a surprise, but it all starts with clarity. First, you've got to be clear with your expectations. And that starts with designing what the role is that you're hiring them to do. Defining that role clearly. What are they in charge of? What are they not in charge of? And how will they be evaluated? Specifically, what are you looking for? This is something that I do before I hire anybody. As we're writing down what the role is, the job description, all the responsibilities and all of that, I actually write down how I'm going to evaluate them and what I'm going to be looking for within the first 2 weeks so that I know that this person is fitting in. What am I looking at in the first 4 weeks to give me an indication on, is this person on the right track? Do they need additional support, or is this really just not a good fit? And then also ongoingly, sort of the longer term view, how will I be evaluating this person? So you need to be clear about all of that and tell them before they come in and start doing the job and not understanding how they're being evaluated. The next thing you need to do is set the context. Help your new teammate know what they're getting into, what they're doing, why they're doing it, how it works, who it helps, etc. And we do all of that during onboarding. Onboarding is a critical component, and I think some people don't do it the justice that it deserves. So I'm going to briefly describe to you what's in our onboarding program for when we hire people, and you can think about how you might want to incorporate some of these in your own onboarding program. So first and foremost, you want to welcome them to the team. You want to introduce the company, tell the company story and the founder story. You know, a lot of times we forget to tell people the details, like, how did you get into this business in the first place? People want to know. Your team wants to know. Talk about your mission, your impact. What difference does your service make in your clients' lives? People want to know this. And then also during onboarding, you want to integrate them into your company. Go deeper. Share your values. Talk about your culture. Tell them the behaviors that you're looking for. So here are a few of ours. Some of ours are self-starters. We're problem-solving. We're proactive. We're assertive. We're ambitious, and we're fun, right? So we tell them a little bit about each of these and how it works. Tell them how they can grow their role as well. Let them know up front how they can get promotions and raises and what you'll be looking for. Tell them a little bit more about how you'll work together. Go over things like, are mistakes okay? How do you handle mistakes? How do you learn from mistakes? And I got to tell you, on this one in particular, you can imagine when you started your last job, when you were coming into a company, you just don't know what's expected of you. Like, you think, oh, I need to be really careful about doing really excellent work. And so you worry about making mistakes. Well, should they worry about it, right? Talking through these things is really helpful for new people. Okay, so I've given you a whole bunch of topics to go over with your new teammate. How do you do this? Well, there are a few methods. You could type it all up and create a handbook that you could read, but that's a little boring, right? You could do one-on-one calls, just have a call with your new teammate. Each each new person you bring on and tell them all of these things. But that is pretty time consuming. Or my preferred way is to make videos. Make videos like this, like I'm making for you, and just go over all of these topics. You make the video once and give them to each new person that you hire. It's great. Okay, so that was onboarding. What else? What else do you need to do to set your new teammate up for success? Well, training, of course. And training can involve a lot. And, this is going to depend, of course, on you, your company, and what the role is, exactly what training needs to happen. But expect to spend 1 to 2 hours on calls with them every day for a while, at least for the first couple of weeks. Be available for questions, right? I don't know what tools you're using for communication. We use Slack, so if they have any questions, they know they can just ping me and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Now, for you, what should you expect when you're onboarding and training your new team member in the Philippines? Here's a few things that I think you should understand. And this is often true with anybody you hire, whether they're local or in the Philippines. So here we go. Getting up to speed it usually takes longer than you think. I've hired a lot of people in different countries, and that's just how it goes, especially if it's something that you're used to doing yourself and now you're hiring someone else to do. Even with an experienced accountant, right, this training and onboarding period often takes longer than you would think because they have experience with a different company. They don't know your clients, and they may have a different way of doing things that they've learned at other firms. They also don't know your expectations. You can tell them, you can go through all of this onboarding that I've been talking about, but, like all the nitty-gritty of actually doing the work. Do you respond to clients within the same business day, for example, right? They may not have previously, and maybe that's what you expect, but you haven't told them, and so you might be frustrated. You might be thinking, why aren't they being responsive? Well, maybe you haven't told them what being responsive means to you exactly, right? That's just one small example. Also, you should expect to be frustrated. This is true anytime you're hiring anybody, but, many accountants, especially if they're hiring for the first time in the Philippines, even those who have the most glowing praise later on often have frustrations early. During the first and second month, they're often thinking, oh no, this person doesn't understand me. Oh no, this isn't going to work. This has been a big mistake, right? I work with a lot of accountants who hire in the Philippines for the first time, and just this is common. It's the first time trying to explain all of these things, and if there's any sort of time delay or communication barrier, it's worrying, as you could imagine. But trust me, after the second month, this all smooths out. I've watched this happen. It even happens to me sometimes when I hire new people. So just understand the first couple of months are going to have some, people, we're on both sides. You're just finding your footing, right? So there you have it. To set your Filipino employee up for success, you need to do these few things. 1, be clear about expectations. 2, set the context. 3, tell them more about you and your firm than you think you should. 4, be available. And 5, be patient. At TeamUp, we recruit top-tier Filipino talent for accounting firms for a flat fee. We're a recruiting agency, not a BPO, so there are no ongoing fees, and you have a hire that you're working with directly. If you need help with payroll or compliance, we can connect you with an employer of record who can help with all of that. To learn more, we have some great resources about hiring in the Philippines on our website at hireteamup.com. That link will be down below. And please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We're always happy to help. Thanks.